And welcome everybody to the very, very, very first edition of Saturday Morning Reviews. I am your host, Vincent Espada, aka Venomous Vincent. Alongside is my co-host, Dan Skip Allen. What's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much, man. Just constantly busy watching movies, writing reviews, watching sports, wrestling, just watching animated shows, everything.
This guy watches. I'm telling you, if anybody in the world watches movies, this guy watches movies. Like listen, this guy watches movies like a NFL player on the field drinks water. I'm telling you, he's I can't keep up. Like he'll be like, "Hey, I watched this. I can't keep up with him." He has so many reviews that I need to give him a platform to talk about these, because he does have you still have the From the Fourth Row.
Yeah, that's my website. I'm the owner, editor-in-chief, and head film critic of From the Fourth Row, but I have 4 writers that write for me. I might be getting a 5th one real soon.
Well, on this episode, the premiere of Saturday Morning Reviews, which next week it's actually going to be on Saturday morning. I am so this is going to be released sometime next week, but we're going to start doing Saturday Morning Reviews 10 o'clock. Each episode will be dropped. This week we're going to be talking about a couple films. Jordan Peele's Him. We're also going to be talking about we're going to dive into just a little bit of The Hangover. And then I saw some of it. Skip saw he saw more of it because I got kicked off. But there's a movie that's going to be actually came out this Friday on Shudder called Night of the Reaper. We're going to be talking about that. But man, let's start off with Night of the Reaper. This is a Shudder original. Came out Friday, and great cold opening. It had that 80s feel to it, and that's what I like. I wish more directors would film more of an 80s style, because when you think about horror movies, I always think about 80s horror movies, because I think that's when horror movies were actually great, and they blossomed in the 80s. These horror movies that come out today, I'm not going to say they suck, but they're trying too hard to make it with these special effects and the way they shoot them. They're trying too hard. When it was back then, they had nothing, so they had to do with what they had, and that's what made it a good movie. But give us give us a little synopsis of Night of the Reaper.
Well, yeah, no, I just want to go off on what you just said. So, yeah, the 80s was the creme de la creme of horror movies. The late 70s and early 80s, you had the Halloweens, the Friday the 13th, the Nightmare on Elm Street, all that kind of stuff. Plus, you had some really good body horror movies like The Fly, The Howling, and some things like that really were. But the last 15 years, Vinny, have been a renaissance of horror movies where you get these new voices and stuff like that. And I've been just like blown away by how many of these low budget, small little horror movies have been coming out of the woodwork lately, like Traumatica and Night of the Reaper. And yeah, it's basically a movie that has a cold opening, like you said. A babysitter is babysitting at this house, watching a kid, and a hooded man in a skull mask basically kills her, and that then sets up 5 years later or 4 years later or whatever, maybe it was 3 years later, the rest of the events of the movie. And then there's these videotapes that are being sent to the sheriff, and this girl comes back into town from being out of town a couple years, and she inadvertently ends up babysitting the sheriff's son at his house, and the sheriff is getting these videotapes of all these things, and it starts with that very first cold opening murder, but it's more than that. And so this whole investigation starts happening, and there is a twist in this movie in the third act. I will not give the twist away in this review because I do not want to give away spoilers for this movie. You have literally have to see this movie to understand how incredible this twist is and how good the third act is. But everything else, it really does a great job of setting this movie up. And it's a lot of unknown actors, and it's from Brandon and Ryan Christensen. I believe it's Brandon and Ryan Christensen, two writer-directors that I really don't know anything about before I watched this movie, but what I saw was enough to make me want to care about those guys and want to see what they have next, because that movie was so good. And if you're a fan of that slasher genre, the 80s slasher genre, which you're a fan of, Vinny, and a lot of people are, then this is going to be a movie for you.
Well, I do got to tell you, what movie does this remind you of when the cold opening happens? I mean, I'm not going to say.
Yeah, it's Scream. Obviously, anybody that knows and who's a horror fan, anybody that's a horror fan, you're gonna see this cold opening. Say, okay, that's Scream. That's fine. Even if they take something like that from like Scream, but it's also Halloween. It's Friday the 13th. It's so many horror movies have used that cold opening, and then like maybe a minute or two later, you see Night of the Reaper or horror or Halloween.
They don't do that no more. They don't do that no more. And I wish more movies would take in consideration of how they shot old 80s horror movies. I still say that, Drew Barrymore actually she wins the cake for cold openings, because I mean, I feel like she was already a big time actress. And
she didn't have to do that, but that was like, she is pop famous because of that now,
she's like one person that no horror person will ever get on their poster, because she never does signings. Like
really?
Well, I mean, do you honestly think you're ever going to get Drew Barrymore you think she's ever going to do a convention?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, she's too big.
Yeah, she's
you might get her outside somewhere, but the chances are very likely.
Yeah. I saw a convention that Nicholas Hoult was going to some convention.
Yeah,
here. He's massive. Nicholas Hoult is massive.
He was in the X-Men series
and Superman.
That's right. He was the bad guy.
Yeah, Lex Luthor. Yeah. So he's huge.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that a couple of days ago, and I'm like, man, what sucks is that next weekend they're doing the Goonies reunion in Orlando.
Oh, I know.
And then the week after, it's either the week after or it's the end of, or it's the second to end of the second to last week of October. But Nicholas Hoult, that's a big name for Spooky Empire.
And so, did they have Jude Law at MegaCon or something? He's massive.
Yeah, they had him 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
But see, MegaCon can afford it.
Yeah.
Spooky Empire, I'm very surprised. He must be giving him a good price, because he's way too big and he's way too good to be doing a small convention like this.
Yeah. Well, they have a new convention. It's called
Spookala.
Not Spookala. It's God, I can't think. Fan Expo or something like that.
That's what I'm talking about next weekend.
Yeah.
Fanboy Expo.
Yeah.
Well, it's not new.
It's pretty big.
It used to be in Tampa, and they moved. Then they moved one. So it was in Tampa, and then they moved one here in Orlando.
Oh, okay, yeah, because they got like 8 members of the Lord of the Rings cast. They got all 6 members of Goonies. They got some big name people.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty big, man. It really is. It's gonna be a big, for sure, a big convention. All right. So what would you rate Night of the Reaper if you had to put on?
Well, I all my reviews go out of 5 stars, so I gave it 4.5 5 stars on my website when I posted my review. So you can go to From the Fourth Row and you can read my entire review, and I still don't spoil the third act.
And that's from thefourthrow.com or on
fromthefourthrow.com. Yep.
And you can also get on From the Fourth Row on Facebook as well.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about each week. I want to do one of the movies in the franchise. There's 3 of them. And Hangover, I got to tell you, is as another favorite of mine. I also and the Hangover. I also about a month ago, I went to Vegas and I got to do some of the Hangover filming locations. I got to stand in front of the desk where they checked in at. I did the front of the hotel, and there was a couple other things that I did for the Hangover. A lot of this, and it's crazy because this movie is not that old, but a lot of the filming locations for this movie are tore down. Vegas is one of those cities where they're starting to gut all the old stuff and put up new. And a lot of the older hotels that they've had on the strip for a while they're just getting ripped down, and the new things are being put up. But man, I got to tell you, this film never gets old. Like this is one of those films that I could watch over and over again, and I would never get tired of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's on the Mount Rushmore of greatest comedies of all time, in my opinion. They really have not made a comedy as funny as this since this movie came out. There's been a couple decent ones since this came out, but nothing as funny as this. I mean, these characters are indelible characters. Zach Galifianakis, Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms. I mean, the stuff with, the Tiger and Mike Tyson and Ken Jeong jumping out of the trunk of the car naked. I mean, that made his career. That made Ken Jeong's career. He was a doctor before that, and he does that, and he becomes a comedian, and then bam, there you go. A career is launched from an Asian guy jumping out of a trunk naked.
And it's funny you bring that up. I feel like this kind of started some of these guys' careers. Like,
Bradley Cooper. It launched Bradley Cooper, launched Zach Galifianakis. Ed Helms was on The Office at that time, but Bradley Cooper and Zach Galifianakis are the two that really launched their careers.
Yeah. I mean, and I could even stop and say, oh boy, what's the other guy's name?
Justin Barth?
No. Nope, the bad guy. What's his name?
Oh, who's the bad guy? Oh, God, I see.
I got it right here.
I see so many movies, Vinny. It's hard to remember.
Let's see here. Oh, Ken. Is it Ken?
Ken Jeong? No, he was the one who jumped out of the trunk. The Asian guy.
I'm saying before this, I don't think he was as big.
No, I said that.
Oh, I must have missed you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I said that same thing. That Ken Jeong was a nobody. He was a doctor in North Carolina before he jumped out. He jumped out of that trunk naked.
And you know what's crazy is that he still's a doctor. Like,
well,
I've read
a doctor. You never lose when you go to school, Vinny. You know how much schooling takes to go.
No, I get it, but what I'm saying is a lot of these. Sometimes some of these guys they make it big and they don't go back to their careers. But like
to that, he's hosting The Masked Singer. He's hosting a bunch of game shows.
No, I don't know. I read something the other day that he was still practicing in medicine.
All right, if you said so. I see him on Fox all the time hosting different game shows, and he's a weekly host on The Masked Singer, which I watch every episode. I've never missed a single episod of The Masked Singer, and he's
is that on right now?
Well, yeah, this week. Episode 1 of the new season will be on this week.
What would you say your favorite? What is your favorite scene in this movie?
When they wake up in the hotel room, and there's a baby, and there's a tiger, and there's all that crazy stuff. Right when they wake up, right when they have the hangover, and they wake up in that hotel room, and it's all tore up, and there's a baby in there, and there's a tiger in there, and all that stuff. That to me is the best scene because you like, what the hell did these guys do to get into this situation? And they're looking for, obviously they're looking for their buddy, the groom, if you will.
I think there's two plot twists or two plots in this film that I really enjoy. Number one, I would say I like the scene at the police station. When first off they were so stupid they couldn't figure out how to get themselves untangled up with the handcuffs. And then when the big kid was shooting the taser, that whole scene was
Zach
pretty funny.
Galifianakis.
and then Ed Helms lying to his to his when Ed Helms is lying to his girlfriend that he's on a tractor ride. And
yeah, I mean, Todd Phillips to me really got the best. I mean, this is one of the best casting jobs I've ever seen in my life. I mean, get these guys together and have them have this kind of chemistry was amazing. I mean, that's why they created the Academy Award for casting. Now, starting this coming Academy Awards, Best Cast. Stuff like this is going to get a chance to get maybe an Academy Award nomination. Like if that award existed when this movie came out, I bet you anything The Hangover would have been nominated for Best Cast, because everybody in that movie was priceless.
Now, next week we're going to be talking about Hangover Part 2, which takes place in, is it Beijing, right?
Isn't it Taiwan or something? Bangkok?
It's either Beijing or Taiwan.
Yeah.
So next week we're going to be talking about that. So make sure you join us again for that episode. But then also, we also got a Skip invited me to a special screening of him, the new Jordan Peele movie starring Marlon Wayans. And I got to tell you, when I saw this preview for this film, not too long ago in the theater, I was like, what is this? Like, you're used to seeing Marlon Wayans as a comedian, and now he's trying to, I feel like, honestly, I could say that I feel like Marlon Wayans, as he gets older, he's just taking what he can get, because he's really not getting a whole lot. I mean, like, we know Marlon Wayans from the early 90s and the 2000s with all his comedies, Scary Movie, and he did a couple good ones in the 80s. But he's not getting a lot. So, you have to take what you get. And Skip, I'm gonna let you tell the plot of this, because I was very confused. I'm not confused, but I feel like there was a lot of parts of this film that they could have done differently to not be, because this movie at the end was very gruesome, very, 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 and this is a horror movie. I get it, it's a horror movie, but I mean, that was, to see a movie in this era with that much blood was beyond.
Yeah, Justin Tipping, another original filmmaker. He wrote and directed this, or co-wrote and directed this, and another vision that I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this guy do something else again, because I absolutely love this movie. It's basically about a young boy who grows up to want to be a football player, a quarterback, in this world's version of the NFL, a fictional NFL. And his idol is the current quarterback of the team. But there's a draft. He was really good in college. There's going to be a draft. He's going to get drafted. And they think that, he could go, any team would want to get him. While he's out practicing, warming up, throwing, just doing drills and things, a guy comes up and hits him over the head with a blunt force object, which he ends up in the hospital with probably 10 or so stitches, or 12 stitches, a massive gash in his head. This causes the teams to be scared about drafting him because of the blunt force trauma and the trauma that it did to his head. And so what happens is, a team that was thinking about drafting him decides to do a boot camp, their own combine, if you will, a private combine at a underground bunker in the middle of nowhere. And wouldn't you know it, it's the kid's idol is there, and he's basically like his motivational coach / coach, and he puts him through this grueling training, is training in these various different types of things that
Isaiah
you would do.
White. He's
Isaiah
playing.
White. Yeah, that's
Isaiah White.
Marlon Wayans' character as Isaiah White, and he puts him through all these various different types of things that you would go through at an actual NFL combine, mental things, physical things, question and answer things, background checks, all kinds of different things that athletes would go through at a normal combine and to see if they're ready for the NFL. And what happens is this guy kind of figures out what is going on, that he is basically being used by these people, that his agent is in on it, the team owner is in on it, and it's some kind of a cult that they are trying to groom him to be the next leader of the football team, but actually it's a cult. And it's pretty violent. It's pretty brutal, but I've never seen a horror movie set around the game of football. And this really does. I thought it was fantastic. As someone who has had head trauma in their lives, I really liked how they used the head trauma to have like dreams and hallucinations and have problems with him. He didn't know what was real, what wasn't real, you know. And it was really one of the most innovative horror/sports movies I've ever seen. And this Tyrese Withers was in a movie earlier this year called I Know What You Did Last Summer. He had a smaller role in that. This is his coming out party. He is an absolute revelation in this movie. He's going to get a lot of roles after this. And I think Marlon Wayans was really good. I am so sick of seeing the comedian Marlon Wayans. I would love to see him do more roles like this.
You know, I hear what you're saying, but you got to look. You got to look and say. I mean, I know you're going to say it's never too late, but I mean, you know, he was such typecasted, you know, growing up.
Well, because of his brothers, his uncle.
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is he was so typecasted that is it too late for him to start branching out into these different genres?
Nope, because also he was in God Almighty, he was in something recently that was really good, and I can't think of what else he was in recently that I liked him in, and I off the top of my head I can't think of what it is that he started to change his mentality in the kinds of projects he chooses. And he's getting away from the comedic stuff like White Chicks and Scary Movie and all that garbage. He's starting to get
Bel Air. You're talking about?
He's good in Bel Air. That's a good show on Peacock.
Air.
He was really good in Air. I loved him in Air. That's what I'm saying. He started to do more dramatic.
And guess what's coming out next year?
What?
Scary Movie 6.
Yeah, I know. I won't be watching that. I'll have someone else review that for me. But yeah, I loved him in Air, and then I loved him in this. So,
well, you know, it's crazy because we were watching this film and it was very short. It was an hour and a half. You know, not typical for. I mean, typical for a horror movie, yes, but for a regular movie, I know when we got out of the theater, Skip was saying I need to watch it again because there was a lot of parts that I missed because it went so fast. But I'm going to tell you what, about 80% of that theater, probably even more, hated this film. There was only so many people that came out. There was a lot of people that came out more so and said that they thought it was not good than liking it. But then Skip broke it down for me in the car. And I kind of understood he was saying. It's a different take on CTE, head trauma, and it's also showing you what it takes to be on top, to sell yourself to the devil, and to be that top guy, what you have to do to give up your family, your friends, whatever, to be that guy, that chosen guy. But you know what, though, at the end, I really do feel like, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I really do feel like at the end, none of that stuff would actually happen. Like it would never come down to that. And it's like, I know this is, a vision of Jordan Peele, but let's be honest.
Justin Tipping was the writer director, and Jordan Peele was the producer.
I listen. I started to like this film in the beginning, but then when it started getting to be really weird with some of the different things in the film, I was like, man, this turn for the worst. You know what I would have loved to seen? I would have loved to seen, and this is not the only film that does it. There's a lot of movies out there which I really do hate, that they don't finish the story. They make you think about what it's gonna be like, what's gonna, and I hate that because, you know, I know we all have creative minds and we can figure out, you know, what they're gonna do next. But with this film, I would love to know what happened to him. Did he go on with his career? You know, did he stop altogether? Like, you know, how was he interacting with his family after he went to the combine and then came back? Like, there's so many unanswered questions in this film that I really wish, you know, there could be a sequel, maybe. I just don't know if there's enough information to do a sequel. But
yeah, no, I agree with you. I think sequel would be great, but it's got to make money. Number one, it's not making money. Number two, it's got to get critical praise, and that is not getting. I'm one of the only people that gave it a positive review, and so I don't think we're going to get a sequel to this, unfortunately. And I'm right there with you, Vinny. I wish we would get a second part to this story. You know, what would you, just speculation real quick, we won't go on real. What would you what would you do if at the end of this movie you see him wake up from a coma
and it was all a dream?
The whole thing was a dream. What would you have done then?
I mean, I think to me, I think it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
It would have made more sense because there's so many things in this film that when you start watching, you're like you have to remember pieces. Like in the beginning of the film, like there was a couple characters coming into the combine. Like you have to remember these, like, and then they changed them up a little bit, like the look of what. So if you're really paying attention, you'll be like, oh man, that's there from the. So it's one of those. It's not a thinker, but it's one of those things that you have to remember some of the pieces that happened earlier in the film.
You have to pay attention. You can't be goofing around looking at people in the theater or whatever, paying it. You know, you got eating your popcorn or whatever. You got to pay attention to what you were looking at because it goes by very quickly.
If I had to give this a score, I would probably give this I'd probably give it a 4.
4 out of 5. Oh, that's great. I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Okay, 4 out of 10 for you. I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5.
Okay. All right. I know tomorrow. Well, excuse me. I know. Well, this is already going to be out, but I know this week coming up, you're very excited because there's another movie coming out that, and it's somebody we have not seen in a while. Leonardo DiCaprio has not been on the big screen in a while. He's coming out with a film that looks fantastic.
Yeah, one battle after another. It's the latest film from Paul Thomas Anderson. Reviews are coming in, and everybody's giving it 5 stars. Rave reviews. The best movie of the year. Best Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I have not seen the movie yet. The screening is on Monday of this week, and then it comes out on Thursday this week. But LA, New York have already seen the movie last week, and so the big markets have seen it, and they are chiming in, and they're saying it's the best. Paul Thomas it's the front runner for the Academy Award for Best Picture, and there's going to be some.
I hate when they do that. I cannot stand. Here's what I cannot stand about the Academy. I cannot stand the fact that the Academy sits there and blabs about a movie and nobody else has seen it.
No one. The Academy's not. It's his predictions by pundits like me.
Yeah, but my thing is, we see it all the time. But what I'm saying is, we see it all the time with the Academy. They're all like, "Oh, this movie's gonna this, and it's." And my thing is, we see it all the time when movies come out at the end of the year, where they say this movie will be nominated for Best Picture, and it's like, how do you already say that when nobody's seen it?
Well, the people that see it are film critics, people that have seen it at film festivals, people that get screeners so they can vote on their guilds, film critic guilds. Those are the people that seen it. The public haven't seen it, but the people
Aren't they the ones making? Aren't they the ones making the? If it wasn't for the public, it's not going to make any money.
You make a good point. The public is the ones that goes to the movies and gives the movies and the filmmakers their money. So that's how the movie makes money. But a lot of the times, the people that see it at the film festivals, the film critic guilds, the local film critics, and people like that who write reviews, those are the people that drive the success of a lot of these movies. Whether they say it's good or bad, it can make or break a movie a lot of the times.
Right. Well, Skip, that is all I have for this week. I do got to mention, though, a couple things. You are watching Saturday Morning Reviews here on the entertainment side of UPR. But if you go over to our other side, UPR Wrestling, we have a slew of shows that are happening all week long. Starting with Monday, you have Rated R review with Monday Night Raw with man, now I have to name all the people here. Big Daddy Cool and the executive consultant does that show. Over on Tuesdays, we have NXT reviews with Bad Guy Jack and our very own Mad Dog and Sabrina. And then on Wednesdays, you have me joining by Cactus Katie and the Sheriff for AEW's it's the Elite Heat podcast. And then I am not too sure about the SmackDown Penitentiary of who's on it and when they do it. I know this has been up in the air for a little bit. I know they do it. I just don't know when it is. So if you stick around and you stay tuned to UPR's Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, I'm sure you can we'll show posting it there. But guys, this is going to be a every week thing. Every week we're going to give you three reviews, if not 2 reviews of a couple classics and maybe a newer 2 one in there. So thank you so much for joining us. My co-host Skip Dan Allen, you can always find him on his website fromthefourthrow.com, on Facebook, and on From the Fourth Row over on the fromthefourthrow.com as well. And he'll be posting all his reviews that so make sure you check him out because he has this guy watches so many movies. He's like a foul ball at the MLB stadium. I mean, he is a baseball in an MLB stadium because he's a movie machine. Skip, is there anything else you want to say before we take off?
No, just From the Fourth Row. You can find me at Dan Skip Allen on Facebook, X, Blue Sky, Threads,
What's Blue
Instagram.
Sky?
Yeah, Blue Sky is a version of X, but it's not X. It's better than X. Letterboxd or any version of DP Skip Allen or FromTheFourthRow.com or Dan Skip Allen on all social medias.
Well, until next time, guys, I'm your host, Vitamins Vincent. That's my buddy Dan Skip Allen, and we'll see you guys at the movies. Good day, everybody.
Went a little long, but we'll get it down to right at 30.
I gotta figure out how to